Welcome to Secret Story. Dear friends, thank you very much for watching. Leave comments, put likes, share with friends and subscribe to the channel. Here is a new standalone story. Thanks for bearing with us. We have many more to catch and new ones, so keep reading. Thanks for your loyalty. Like and comment. But most of all, enjoy. I was driving home from my weekly men's card group at the country club. It was a clear night in June, and I had the windows and sunroof open, feeling the cool wind rushing across my face. That it had been a fun night. Bert and I had won our bridge match and were treated to drinks and our normal idle chatter about sports and other unimportant things. Ed, another friend, commented about my wife Edna's promotion to vice president, congratulating me. I thanked him and thought just how proud of her I was, and it was nice of Ed and the others to acknowledge her accomplishment. Edna works for a large regional car parts remanufacturing company for GM and Ford parts. They sell repair parts to dealers and repair shops throughout the southeastern states. She has worked there for 9 years. The first year was after our 2 children had started school, and Edna wanted to get back to work so we could build our financial future and pay for the kids' college when the time came. We also wanted to grow our retirement fund to retire while we were young enough to travel and truly enjoy it. Edna had done well and had received 2 promotions in the last 3 years. The latest one was a biggie to the vice president of finance. Her income had doubled, as had her responsibilities, demanding more hours, causing us to hire a nanny due to her work demands. That I was okay with that, but I missed our home time as a family when she worked late a couple of times a week or had an evening business dinner or a short business trip to meet with their suppliers. I knew it all came with the new position, and we had discussed it all when the offer came to her and agreed on everything. Even so, things were changing more than I had expected. But in the past year, that had changed significantly. We were now lucky to twice a week and some weeks not at all. As you can imagine, that has added considerable stress to our family life, at least on my part. It seems as though Edna has dealt with it much better than I have. I didn't understand what had happened, but something certainly had. As for me, I am Albert Finney, not the actor, but I am very dramatic in my work as a senior partner in a large law firm and head litigator. My brother James and I founded our family firm, Finney and Associates, Attorneys at Law, 10 years ago. I had been practicing for 5 years at a large firm since I graduated from law school. My brother is 3 years older than me, so he had been in the law a few years longer as an assistant district attorney for Fulton County, Atlanta, Georgia. I was a criminal defense attorney, so between the two of us, we understood the complete system, making us a perfect match, so we opened our firm. We have grown rapidly and now handle all facets of the law, with over 20 associates and a large staff of almost 40 employees. Until now, both Edna and my work and home life have been good, with no key issues. Our kids are thriving at the Lovett School, an excellent private school. They are both active in sports and do well in school. We have a great family life, or we had one. Before Edna's latest promotion, we had family night every Wednesday night, pizza, and a game or movie once their schoolwork was finished. We still hold family night these days. But the problem is that Edna is not there on many Wednesday nights, or she comes in late, or maybe not until the kids are off to bed. In her place, when we play games, Stacy, our nanny, fills in for her. It is still fun for the kids, but it's not the same for me. So back to my ride home. As I said, the night was beautiful, with the wind blowing across my face. As I drove along, I heard my phone chime. Since I took that pledge several years ago, I never touch my phone while driving, and no phone until I am off the road and parked. I needed gas, so I pulled into a quick-stop convenience store and started to fill up. I pulled out my phone and saw 3 texts and 1 phone message. I listened to the phone message. It was about work, and it could wait until tomorrow. The first text was from Edna. She was running late finishing up some pre-audit preparation needed for tomorrow's annual audit. The second text was odd. There was no message, just pictures. I looked hard at the first picture, and the shock almost made me drop my phone. I stared at the picture, seeing there were two more. I clicked on the second one, it was clearer. I enlarged it to see the faces better. My breath caught in my throat. My mouth was full of cotton, and I couldn't swallow. Fuck, it was Edna. My human brain was not working, so my legal mind took over. I looked at the picture as if it was a piece of evidence. What was I looking at? There were two people. A man and a woman. It was fairly dark, like they were in an alley, with very low lighting. The man was standing, and the woman, Edna, was kneeling. I looked at the third picture. It was a close-up of the man's face. My anger level exceeded the Richter scale. I was ready to explode. There was no doubt about it. It was Edna and the CEO of her company, Tom Price. What? I had lost all track of time. My gas tank was full, and I was standing there dumbfounded by what I was looking at. The store attendant came to the door and called out. "Sir, is everything okay?" I thought, what an appropriate question. I turned to the man. "Yes, sorry, I just received a shocking message." I quickly replaced the nozzle, pulled away from the pump, and parked. There was a third text from the same anonymous number. That had been sent 20 minutes after the pictures. I opened and read it. "You don't know me, and I want to keep it that way for now. I sent you the pictures because I thought you should know what your wife has been up to. I am not a goody two-shoes myself, but I found out tonight that this has been going on for almost a year. No husband deserves that kind of betrayal. I have been through this treatment and don't want you to be completely blindsided, so here is your warning, prepare yourself. A friend." Then another text with 3 more pictures. They were dancing very close. Then they were leaving hand in hand. I didn't know where they were going, so I sat and thought. Then I made a call. "Hello. Jessica, sorry to call so late. Are you able to talk?" "Yes, Al, what is it? What do you need?" "I have an urgent personal issue I need your help on from tonight until you find out everything I need, total dedication and secrecy. No one can know. I am sending you 3 text messages, they will explain my dilemma. Go after this like it was a major case. Find out everything, every detail. You know what I need. This job is off the company books, so I am paying you myself. Okay, turn on all the tracking software I installed for you 2 years ago. It will update the current revision and send the appropriate update to Edna's phone and computer." "How did you know?" "Al, I have known you a long time. You would have no other personal thing that you need me for. I am sorry it is happening to you and especially the kids. I will get to the bottom of it for you, then help you think through this mess. I owe you everything, so I am here for you." I got the texts. "I know the players, so let me get busy. You must put on your best lawyer face and act as if you know nothing. Make love to your wife, treat her nicely, and be loving. I know it will kill you inside, but you have to do it. It will all come out, and we will destroy her if you want. Okay, I know what I have to do. Thanks, you're the best. I'll talk to you as soon as I have something. Now go be daddy and husband." I hung up, thinking about how I could pull this act off. I am the best litigator and can play any part, so I can do this. I opened the Find My Phone app and saw Edna near home. They must not have gone any further tonight, so she would be clean. I headed home. My meeting was over, and a few of us went out for a drink. After 1 drink, 3 of them left for home. Tom Price, Edgar Saint, and I were the only ones left. I agreed to have another drink, looking at Tom, knowing what he wanted. I wanted it too, but tonight I needed to get home. Edgar went to the men's room, and Tom leaned over and kissed me. "Stop, Tom," I pushed him away. Tom smiled. "Tom, stop it. Edgar will see us and blow our whole thing. Edna, I need you so much tonight." "Okay, but we have to be quick. I'll meet you in the regular place in 5 minutes. I have to get home." I got up and walked to the ladies' room. I passed Edgar on the way. I'll be right back. The drinks are there. I went out the back door and waited for Tom. I thought of how many times I had been in this spot over the last 10 months. We make it quick most times. I knew this was so wrong. After I was promoted, Tom and I spent a lot of time together. About a year ago it all started on a business trip. It wasn't a condition of my promotion, but I was attracted to him and for some reason, I felt that I owed him. I knew what we were doing was very wrong and I needed to end our affair before we got caught. I wanted this to be the last time. I will talk to Tom tomorrow. I heard the door open, and Tom came out. He walked me around the building to a secluded little spot, and I was ready and returned to the table before Edgar wondered where we were. Normally when we are alone, but not tonight. We finished, and I went back inside first. I got back to the table, but Edgar was not there. There was a note scribbled on a napkin and a $20 bill. I read the note. Sorry, my wife called, one of the kids is sick, so I must stop at the pharmacy. See you guys tomorrow. I looked around, and he was truly gone. Tom came back and read the note. Okay, we are clear, let's go back out back. I can't. Not tonight, and we must talk about this tomorrow. I will dance one more dance, and then I must leave. Tom pouted, but that did nothing. A slow dance started, and I pulled him out on the floor. We danced close. That was not what I wanted anymore, so it had to stop. Tom held me close, and we enjoyed the dance. When the song ended, Tom kissed me and begged me, but I said no. We left together, holding hands as we walked to my car. No Tom, this has to stop. I have to go home to my family. Good night. I was pretty emphatic about what I said. I got in my car and quickly drove off, leaving Tom standing in the parking lot. On my way home, I pulled into the driveway and put on my wife's and mother's faces. I slipped out of the car and walked into the house. The kids were ready for bed, and Al was reading today's Wall Street Journal. Hi, Mommy's home. The kids jumped up and ran to me. Mommy, Mommy, they chanted as they grabbed me and hugged me. At 13 and 15, they are getting big, both teenagers now, almost grown people. That I kissed each of them. I then looked at Al, still reading the paper, not paying attention to my entrance. He does that sometimes when he is engrossed in an article. He lowered the paper. Hi honey, did you get all the stuff ready for your audit? Yes, it was a pain, but we are all ready now. Sorry I am so late. Jesus, the lie just rolled out of my mouth without guilt. I thought what a horrible person I had become. This affair was over, and Tom would know that tomorrow. Did you eat? Some leftovers are in the fridge, and I can hear them up for you. God, I thought, what was I doing having an affair with Tom, a married man I didn't have any feelings for, when I had the most wonderful man in the world? The thought of what I had done to Al, betraying him for a year, made me sad and nauseous. I ran out of the room to the master bathroom and fell to my knees. I gripped the toilet bowl, throwing up what little food I had in my stomach. Al appeared at the door, knocking. Edna, what happened? Are you okay? I flushed the evidence away and stood up. I quickly washed my face and opened the door. Al was there with no expression. Are you okay? What is going on? You ran from the room when I mentioned food? I was shaking as I moved into his arms. I fought the urge to cry and sighed. We ordered some sushi while we worked. I guess my stomach didn't like it. I'm okay now, I think. Another pitiful lie. We walked back out to the kids and Stacy went to get me some ginger ale. We sat and talked to the kids, letting them tell me about their day. Soon I ushered them off to bed, and I thought about how beautiful my children were and how important they were to me. As the kids left us, I looked at Al, still reading his paper. Guilt suddenly hit me again. Like many times before, I wondered what I was doing with Tom. Honey, I feel grimy, so I am going to shower. Al looked at me with a sly smile. Okay, you go up and get ready, and I'll lock up and check on the kids one last time. Be ready for me. I watched my wife walk out of the room, going upstairs for a shower. I knew she wanted to wash all the evidence of earlier tonight away. I took a deep breath, preparing myself to see her for the first time since learning she had been giving her body to Tom Price. I checked all the door locks, armed the security system, and walked slowly up the stairs, putting on my best face. Down the hall, I looked in on Sherry and Al. They were getting settled, so I wished them a good sleep. As I walked into our bedroom, I heard the shower come on. I saw Edna standing, looking at herself in the mirror. The look on her face was a mix of sadness and concern. A tear or two ran down her cheeks. As I entered the room, Edna silently backed away from the mirror, wiped her cheeks, and stepped into the shower. I followed her, letting her control what happened next. Edna turned her back to me and let the hot water splash on her face, washing any. I stood back, looking at her, seeing her shoulders shake. She was crying now, and I was not giving her any relief. I was not sure what was happening. I wonder if her guilt had finally overtaken her. Was she cracking? Was she going to confess to me? I did nothing and watched her. Then I thought I had an opportunity here, so I moved. Baby, is there something wrong? Why are you crying? Has something happened? Edna leaned against the wall and was sobbing harder now. I decided to leave her alone to figure out what she would do. Without another word, I stepped out on the bath mat and dried off. I put on a robe and went down to the den. I poured a glass of Glenlivet and sat in my chair. I rolled the crystal glass in my hands, warming the golden liquid. I took a sip, laid my head back, and closed my eyes. What was I going to do? I already knew what had happened earlier tonight. That was bad, but how bad was it? How long had this been going on, and most important? Why? I love Edna and do not want to lose her. My decision on what happens next depends on Edna and her admission, being completely honest with me and telling me everything. If she can do that, we can get by this. There will be changes in our relationship, some retribution for Edna, and severe punishment for Tom Price. My ego was not in play here, and I am very comfortable with who I am. So, whatever has happened between Edna and Tom Price will not change that. What will change is how I look at my wife from now on. Can I trust her? Will she ever do this again? Who else knows about this affair if that is what it is? I sipped my scotch and waited. Then I heard Edna come into the room. I didn't move or acknowledge her presence. I sipped my scotch, then opened my eyes, looking up at the ceiling. Al. I did nothing. Al, I am so sorry. I have to tell you something. You are going to hate me, but I have to tell you. It is killing me and has been for a long time. I sat stoic, with no response. I didn't look at Edna or make the slightest move other than sipping my scotch. Al. Edna's voice was becoming desperate now that I decided it was time to tell her I knew what she had done and wanted to know the truth. I sat up and looked at her. The look in my eyes should have destroyed her. If not, then what I said next certainly would. Edna, do you want a divorce? Edna had been standing by the door. She fell to the floor and screamed, "Oh God, you know." How do you know? I didn't move as I watched her writhing in the pain of her deceit and betrayal. I sat back and closed my eyes, rolling the glass in my hands. My breathing was shallow as the pain of what she had done to me, and our family hit me. Anger arrived for the first time. I had to leave. I could not be in the same room with my cheating wife. Edna made me sick. How could she do this to us? We were so happy, a beautiful, successful, loving family. It was that, Tom Price. I will make him pay with everything but his life. I went to the bedroom and dressed. I packed a change of clothes for tonight. I have several suits, shirts. and ties at my office for a couple of days. I walked down the steps stopping at the den door. I saw Edna still lying on the floor sobbing uncontrollably. Edna, I am leaving now. You are here with the kids. Stacy will be able to care for them if you cannot. Do not let them see you like this. You have 24 hours to get yourself together and tell me about all of it, every fucking detail. If you are honest, we have a chance, but if you try to lie your way out of this affair, I will have the divorce papers drawn up immediately. If that is how you decide to go, I will destroy you, Edna. I swear I will. That is what you are. You and your boss, so he gave you the big job. Isn't that how it went? I turned to leave. Stacy was standing there, mortified at what she had heard. I saw a frightened look on her face. You will need to babysit their mom now. She is a mess and can't do anything for herself. Maybe she can explain it to you, as practice for what she has to say to me. Help her please, she needs someone. I walked past her, out the door, and left for my office. I would camp out there until this was all sorted out. I stepped out of the shower and dried. Al had walked out, not touching me. My guilt gripped me, and I was crying. I was not sure how I was going to explain that. I was in dangerous territory now and had to be very careful that I looked at myself in the bathroom mirror. I felt sick. What I saw was the unfaithful wife of a wonderful man. It made me sad that I had allowed Tom Price to seduce me. As I thought about it all, I wondered if I had been given the VP position so that Tom could further control me. Was so excited when I received the promotion, everyone told me I deserved it. Things went along well for many months, and Tim always flirted with me and put his hands on me, but I fended him off, and it never went further. Then about a year after I was promoted, we had a major client issue, and Tom asked me to go with him to work out the financial end of the problem. Albert was not happy I was going away with Tom, and he didn't trust him, but he trusted me. We made substantial progress but had a couple more workdays ahead. That night we took the principals out to a wonderful dinner. We drank a lot of Cristal champagne and several bottles of wine. Tom handed me the tab to pay. Jesus, it was over $4,000. I felt on top of the world when we returned to the hotel. I was so wired, I didn't want the night to end. Tom suggested we go to the disco club in the hotel for a nightcap. I agreed. We danced and drank, and we drank and danced. First, there were a few fast tunes, then came several slow songs. As we danced, Tom held me tight. I remember that was when things changed from just dancing to something else that was unexpected, or was it? I had drunk so much that I was almost defenseless. After the third slow dance, I excused myself to the ladies' room. Looking at myself in the mirror, I told myself, Edna, girl, go to your room, get far away from Tom. I washed my face, and returned to the table. I stood looking at Tom, and 2 new drinks were on the table. Tom smiled at me, one more drink, and we will call it a night. I sat, and Tom moved next to me. Edna, you are a beautiful woman. Tom's words surprised me and quickly sobered me up. Tom had flirted with me for months now. I wondered if Tom had brought me on this trip so he could complete his seduction. Tom stood up, dropped a $100 bill on the table, and pulled me out of the club. We almost ran to the elevator. The door opened, and we stumbled out, running down the hall like teenagers. Tom scanned his key, pushed the door open, and pulled me into the room. We were desperate now, there was no thought of anything. No Albert, no kids, no nothing. There were no words spoken. We both knew what he wanted. Over the years, Albert had taught me the art of. Now I was very good, maybe even an expert. Sometime later, I slowly awoke. At that moment, I had a slight twinge of guilt at what I was doing, but quickly, all those thoughts were gone. For an hour we rested for a few hours. I dressed in yesterday's clothes and left on a walk of shame, to my room 3 doors down the hall. Walking into my room, I saw the message light on my phone. I realized I had not called Albert and the kids last night. A sudden feeling of dread spread over me. What was I doing cheating on Albert and my family? God, what was wrong with me? I have the most incredible life. Why would I ever do something as crazy as I did, and chance losing all of it? It was just after 7 a.m. I pulled out my cell and saw 3 texts and 2 phone messages. My heart began to beat wildly. God, I have fucked up. I said aloud. I listened to both phone mail messages. The first one was Albert looking for me. The second one was Sherry, Mommy, where are you? Please call us. We miss you. The message broke my heart, and I felt horrible. What was I doing? I read all 3 texts from Albert spread out over 3 hours. Each one questioned where I was, with the last text coming at 11:24 p.m. when I should have been in bed. Well, I was in bed, just not my bed, and I was not alone. Oh God, what was I doing? I thought quickly and made up a plausible lie. Albert's attorney brain could see through any lie, I was sure. I called, and it rang, no answer. I called again. It rang, no answer. Albert was pissed off at me, I am sure. I called the home line, and Stacy answered. Hello, Edna, where are you? We are so worried. You didn't call, and Al called and messaged you late into the night. Be careful. Those were the first words I heard in a warning. Jesus, was what I was doing so obvious to Stacy? I heard mumbling, and then it was Albert. Hang up and call my cell. The line went dead, and Albert hung up. Oh God, I have really screwed up. I dialed Albert's phone but he answered on the first ring. Edna, where the hell have you been all night? His voice was sharp and demanding. He never spoke to me that way, and he was clearly very angry with me. Albert, I am sorry. We went out to dinner with the clients and returned late. I was not feeling well, and I got nauseated and threw up as soon as I returned to my room. It must have been the mussels we had at dinner. I felt so bad I laid down at about 10:30 p.m. and must have fallen asleep. I am sorry. Are the kids there? Can I speak to them? I rambled that big fat lie out and waited. There was silence. There was little Al. Mommy, when are you coming home? I miss you so much. My heart melted, my guilt quotient shot through the roof, and I felt terrible. Then Sherry came on, compounding my guilt. Then Albert came on, and I could hardly speak to him. I had cheated on my family and the man I love more than anything. What was wrong with me? Edna, I am not sure what is going on, but something is. You would never go a night without talking to the kids, no matter how bad you felt. So, tell me what is going on. I was shocked. Was I that transparent? Did my lack of a simple call expose me? God. I have fucked up so badly. How do I save this? Albert, nothing is going on. I am sorry I didn't call. It will never happen again, I promise. I was at a dinner, then got sick, that is all it was. I'll be home in 2 days and will call tonight and tomorrow night. I am so sorry. I love you and the kids more than anything. I started to cry softly. I don't like being away from you, Albert, I miss you so much, and it's not even been 24 hours. Half of what I said was true, but the other was all a lie. God, I was terrible. Albert calmed down. Okay, when you get home, we will discuss this. Okay, Al, I love you and the kids. I'll call at dinner time tonight. Okay, I love you, Edna. Have a good day. We hung up, and I fell back on the bed, crying. Oh God, I thought I was so stupid. I will lose my husband and family if I am not careful. My room phone rang. Hello. Good morning, beautiful, want to get breakfast or maybe something else? We have 2 hours before we meet with the client, then we have a few hours this afternoon. I am having dinner with an old friend. You can come if you like. Then I'll be back, and we can, well, you know. No breakfast. I have room service. I had a very bad conversation with Al and the kids about my absence last night and my not calling them. Al is suspicious, so we are doing nothing more on this trip. I am here to work, and that is all. Do you understand, Tom? No more. There was silence, then, okay. I get it. It was great fun, but I understand you love Albert and your kids, and I complicate everything. It's okay. I'll meet you in the lobby at 9:30 a.m. Yeah, sure, 9:30 it is. Bye. That was the beginning of our affair. When I got home from that trip, Albert and I talked. He had calmed down, and we were good. Our life went on undisturbed. I will say that Stacy knew me well and quickly saw differences in my behavior. She also did the laundry, so I guessed she had seen the evidence in my each week. That concerned me, but she never said anything to me, so maybe I was just being guilty. Things were cool between Tom and me for about a month. Then one night, we worked late, and Tom put a move on me that I was quickly defeated. It was incredible. Over the next 10 months, Tom and my affair blossomed. In his office or private bathroom or at the bar, we would go to after work once or twice a week. It was a routine thing with us now and did not affect my family life. We never were caught or nearly caught. It all worked out like clockwork, and no one knew the wiser then tonight happened. It was very late when I got to the office. I had stopped to pick up some snacks and a 6-pack of Bud Light. I settled in and took a shower. I slipped on some shorts and a tee. I opened the sofa bed and lay down. I just could not understand what Edna was doing and why. It made no sense to me. My phone buzzed. It was Jennifer. Hey. Al, where are you? I am at the office for the next couple of nights. Okay, I'm coming over. Okay, see you soon. I drank a beer and tried to reason out what was going on. No luck. Maybe Jennifer can shed some light on this fucking mess. I heard her come in. She knocked on my door and then entered. She looked as beautiful as ever. Jennifer is an investigator we use on our legal cases, and she has an uncanny way of finding information. Her being beautiful certainly helps with that. I stood, and we hugged. I have known Jen for over 10 years now, and she is the best at everything and a straight shooter who tells it like it is. Al, there is no way around this. It is not good, and this affair has been going on every week for almost a year. I was shocked at what Jen had found out. What? There is no way I would have seen the signs, and it can't be. Sorry, Al, but yes, unfortunately, it has. I have videos from last summer in Mr. Price's office. It seems they do it in Tom's office or at a bar they go to once a week. The guy that sent you the video was with them last night, and when he saw some of what was going on, he snuck out, caught them, and shot the video. Then he left a note saying he had to leave. He hid in a corner behind the bar and shot other pictures and more videos. I have seen it, but it is not very revealing. When they left, he followed them out to the parking lot. He heard Tom trying to get Edna to come with him. Edna told Tom, "This is over, and we will discuss it tomorrow." Then she slammed her car door and drove off, leaving him standing there. Tom went to his car, obviously pissed, and raced out of the parking lot. This guy, Edgar Saint, is a good man. He sent you the video because he knew something wasn't right and wanted to warn you. He had seen a few things in the office that he thought were suspicious but had no proof. I went to the security company and gave them a story, and they downloaded the footage for the last year. Do you have it? Yes, can I see it, please? Al. Are you sure? Yes, no, but I have to see it. I was shocked at what I had seen. I was numb, and I couldn't think. I just sat there. Then I snapped out of it, "Jen, tell me about Tom Price. He is 51 years old, married 3 times. He divorced his first wife for cheating, then was divorced by number 2 for his cheating, and now has a beautiful 30-year-old wife with 2 small children. Tom is a successful businessman, CEO of this company for 6 years, and the company has grown since he has been here. He has a contract that expires next year, and a morals clause cancels his severance agreement if he violates it. He will be fired with no recourse if he is guilty, and it can be proved. I have not found any other harassment issues, and Edgar Saint said he thought it all started when Edna was promoted. Ed thought Tom targeted Edna, and that was why he promoted her. Ed also felt that Tom had made her a mission and that Edna had fought him off but finally caved in for some reason. I looked at her. My legal brain was spinning now. I was going to bury Tom Price. He will be seen as a predator, and he will be fired. His company will pay Edna $10 million if she does not file suit. I will sue Tom Price personally for alienation of affection for $5 million and hope to settle for $2 million. Okay, Jen, here is what we will do. I explained everything to her and asked her to put a tail on Tom Price. Edna was not leaving the house until I was through with her, and then, we may tail her. Check around and see if there was any history at other companies of his harassment. What about Edna? Jen asked. Once we have sued and she gets fired. Then I will decide if I am going to divorce her. Until then, she has been my wife and the mother of my kids. Without an escort, she will not go to any girls' night out, book clubs, or anything at night. I will have her sign a postnuptial agreement that gives her nothing if she ever thinks of cheating again. She will not work again. She will raise our children along with Sandy. Oh yes, I am keeping Sandy on as a spy and a support person for Edna and the kids. We will go to counseling together, and we will go separately. Okay, Jen, thanks for getting on this so fast. You're the best. I slipped an envelope into her hand. This should take care of you. We hugged, and Jen left. I had the complete story and now want to hear it from Edna. If she is truthful and admits what happened, we can stay together, but if she lies, we are done. I created a dummy set of divorce documents on our firm's portal. I completed them and printed them off. I made a postnuptial agreement, giving Edna virtually nothing if she cheated on me again. No mercy, I finished and emotionally wrung out. I put a note on Caroline, my assistant's desk, that I was sleeping here to let me wake up on my own time. Reschedule my appointments or hand them off. That I texted Sandy my text, make sure that you call Edna's office and tell them she has the flu and will not be in the rest of the week. Edgar Saint, her second in charge, is scheduled to work with the auditor today and Friday. Any questions, send her a text. Sandy's text, got it, will do. How are you? My text, I have it all worked out now. It all depends on Edna. She has to tell the truth and we will work this out. She will pay dearly though, as will Tom's Price. Please help her. I am sure you are disgusted like me, but help her, hear her story. Sandy's text, yes I am, but I want this to work as well, so I will. It infuriates me that she has done this to this family. My text, yes, it is so wrong and out of character for Edna. Tom Price pursued her and broke her down, but she participated and must have liked. She could have stopped at any time by quitting, but she loved the big job. She is definitely at fault and her punishment will be severe. I have to sleep, good night. Stacy's text, I am getting ready to talk with her. Good night. I turned off my desk phone and cell and went to sleep. Copyright 2024, all rights reserved. No part of this story can be reproduced in any form or by any electronic or mechanical means without written permission from the author. All characters are fictitious, and any similarity to actual people, living or dead, events, or locales is entirely coincidental unless otherwise state. Dear friends, thank you very much for watching. Leave comments, put likes, share with friends and subscribe to the channel.